Good day, everyone, and welcome to the show, a special Father's Day edition.
On the beach in the sand, I think of you. I think of you. Did you realize I love you all my life?
Welcome back. I'm your host, Curt Williams, metaphysician, hermeticist, and I'd like to add one more category to this, and that is I am now a monotheist. Monotheism is when your belief system only has room for one God. I was studying the life and times of Amenhotep IV, and that's what he believed. And I dare say Christianity is far from being a monotheism. There are several gods in Christianity and other religions as well. I really admired what Amenhotep believed in. The only thing is that he used the sun to represent the Creator. And that's okay with me because the sun is in fact a creator. What the Creator did was he created energy processors throughout the universe that will create. The sun will create. The sun creates by the rays itself. The radiation itself creates life on planets like Earth, combining that with the chemistry of the world, of the Earth itself. You combine that up, all that together, you have what we have now, a planet where life is abundance. It takes, without the sun, none of this could happen. Without the Creator, there wouldn't be a sun. So basically, it's almost like the sun is one of the number one processing units that the Creator uses. This is what Amenhotep believed in as creation because he couldn't articulate that which was above that. We now know what's above this, and so we're here. So now, what I'd like to discuss today is the most controversial aspect of my book. I say it's the most controversial because it's the hardest one that people are going to accept, and it's the one I'm going to get the most backlash from. It's my discussion about the archangel Lucifer, Satan. I've talked about him before. My book explains everything. However, I know there are many people who don't like to read books, and you don't have to read books. I can sit up here and tell you what I said. What we understand about Lucifer, he was the number one if not the number two angel, archangel in the creation of God. God, creator of the universe, created angels first. That was his first creation after he had a place to put them. He experienced angels. These angels were the closest thing there were to him. The creator began to learn from those angels by their behavior. The angels began to fight. Once the angels began to fight, he had to come to understand the impetus for their belligerence. Come to find out that an existence without atrophy, meaning that it doesn't decay, is an existence without meaning or reward. Nothing happened to them. Nothing to cause them to go into some kind of uncomfortability and want to come back from that. For instance, everything was all good, so in order for them to get the attention from the Creator, they had to get the attention by doing negative things. The Creator realized that a life without that kind of motivation to do better, to be good, or to be something more is one, an existence without consequence is what I'm trying to explain. Now, so he realized at that particular point that he needed to create a whole different kind of world, a whole different kind of universe where you had to face these kind of adversaries in order to progress. That's when he decided to create a corporeal world, a world of an existence of matter complex, meaning things that are solid. He had the ethereal realm, which is basically, it's all mind, so to speak. All mind, nothing solid. Nothing solid was created yet. So he needed something with some solids, because if you have solids, solids can decay. If you have spiritual, well, it's harder to do so. Solid matter can decay. Another thing that solid matter does have is time. You have a beginning and an end, which means in the beginning it is as such, and at the end it degrades over time. Just like the human body, you're born as a baby, you grow and you decline. Planets, suns grow up and they decline. So basically, you needed this decline. Now, the reason you have a decline on a physical standpoint, that's when you have to also give these spiritual beings a physical body that will decline too. Because if your body cannot decline, and your spirit doesn't decline, you see, so as your spirit is a non-declining thing, the only way you can add to your spirit and make it better is to have an aspect of it that will decline, and you can feel and see. It's like having a pet, and your pet is doing all kinds of stuff, and you want your pet to do good, but your pet just wants to do what it wants to do. So our bodies and brains are like the pet that our spirit is trying to get to do the right thing, and we fall and come back, and we're just back and forth, and then we die, and our spirit says, okay, we're going to do this thing again, but we're going to do better this time, right? And, this hand puppet thing is working out pretty good. Okay. This is mankind, and this is your spirit. Okay, man, this is what we're going to do. You're going to go back, and you're going to have these kind of parents, and you're going to try to live this kind of life. You ready? Yeah. And you go back, and you're born, and then you go through trials, and your spirit is constantly trying to, don't. But you're doing what you want to do, and your spirit is trying to lead you and guide you. But here you are fumbling and stumbling, which is what you're going to do, because all you have is a brain and a body, and you don't know what you're doing. And you're going by what the rest of the people are doing. So you're doing all this, and your spirit is like, no, don't do. And so the whole purpose is to get in touch with this so you can communicate with this and kind of look up and go, hey, what do you think we should do? And you. So the problem with human beings today is you're disconnected from this, and you're really connected a lot to this. What I mean by this is religions, churches, and pastors who are going blah, 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 telling you what to do here, and you're following it, and you're not following this. This is what's connected to God. This is what's connected to the Creator. They're on the same page. This over here is coming from a different place, and I'm going to tell you where that is. We're talking about Lucifer. We're talking about the archangel. These archangels are the smartest beings in the universe, aside from the Creator. The reason they're so intelligent is because they know they're not stuck to a corporeal existence of matter complex and time, which means they can literally see the past, present, and the future. They can see the creation of a star and the demise of a star and everything in between. This is something we do not have the ability to do. Our spirits can. Our spirits are the same thing as an angel. It's from that particular realm. Our spirits are actually the same thing as an angel from the standpoint is that an angel is a piece of the Creator. Our spirits are a piece of the Creator. Our bodies is a creation in and onto itself. It's a biological offspring that is produced from a combination of things that the Creator has provided for those things. Meaning, once he decided to create a corporeal world, he knew he had to create gender counterparts, males and females, that can, by their union, reproduce. So, so the Creator, at this particular point, knew that he had to select a gender counterpart. So, the Creator is a he. The reason we know that is because he decided to make his gender counterpart a she. It could have went the other way. It didn't matter. If you want to call the Creator of the universe a female, you can, because he only selected a gender because he knew he needed something counter to him, something that would think a little different than him, almost have their own opinion. In other words, basically the Creator was going to have to be a little tolerant. And he was going to have to let a lot of things go, let a lot of things happen that were disturbing. When he creates Mother Nature, now she is more of a nurturer. She is the one who is bringing the love, for instance. The Creator can't really express love the way that a Mother Nature would, because the Creator already knows what the final outcome is going to take and what it takes. It's like being a dog trainer, where you know when you're training a dog, you're going to have to go through some bumps, but you understand what the end result is. That's how the Creator is. However, if you have a dog trainer here and you have a dog trainer's wife, she might be going, "You sure treat the dogs poorly." Well, I have to do it like that in order for them to progress. Okay, well, I feel bad for the dogs. Okay, well, okay, but can't you be a little nicer to the dogs? No, I have to do it. See, the Creator knows what he has to do, but you got Mother Nature going, well, can't you be a little nicer? In other words, the feminine touch. So, Mother Nature added the feminine touch. The Creator was the kind of person like, okay, yeah, I like flowers and stuff and everything, but they're no big deal to me. And Mother Nature's like, well, I'm going to give you some flowers and see how you feel about them after I make them. So Mother Nature in the Fibonacci sequence, she creates flowers and plants and all kinds of different life, the kind of life that the Creator would never have thought of, simply because he was like, oh, okay. I mean, it's a difference between a male and a female, so your gender counterpart. The main reason why he created a gender counterpart was so that their union physically can cause a birth reaction. The creator of the universe, most powerful thing, period, creates something that is almost as powerful as him. They have a union. They create, through their union, a big bang. That's how the universe got here in the first place. The Thomas Webb telescope has found out that there are big bangs still happening to this day. So the creator and Mother Nature are still getting busy. They're still banging it out there, creating more of all this. Now, so you have the creator of the universe, then you have archangels, then you have Mother Nature. So you have archangels who were here before Mother Nature existed. Now, some of these angels are very protective. The most protective angel of all was the one called Lucifer. You had the creator of the universe, and then you had this really bossy angel here. Understand me very clearly. Angel Lucifer is highly protective of the creator of the universe. It's almost like he is his number one bodyguard. The creator of the universe and Lucifer, and then Mother Nature. You'll never hear this anywhere else, but you're going to hear it here. The creator of the universe, his number one protector is Lucifer. You will never hear that in church. Or you're going to say, how could that possibly be? How could Lucifer be the number one protector of the creator? Well, the Bible tries to tell people in authority. I think the ones that are really on top, like the Pope, they understand all this. You know, they understand all of it, but they just won't. They know that people are so brainwashed that it's a waste of time to try to tell them the truth about the matter. Well, people are brainwashed, but I'm going to tell you the truth anyway. You got Lucifer, who's the number one bodyguard to the Creator. In the book of Genesis, it explains to you. It says that we shall make mankind in our own image. Well, who the hell is we? You have the creator of the universe, archangels, then Mother Nature. What the we represents are beings that were created way down the line. They call them the Elohims of the book of Genesis, who were very advanced beings. These very advanced beings came to this place, found this beautiful place, and decided that they were going to replicate themselves. They were going to, through DNA and science, they were going to create people in their own image. You have the creator of the universe, then you have the archangels, then you have Mother Nature, and then way, way, way down here, you have these beings called the Elohims. So far down are these Elohims on the chain of existence, Mother Nature and God had made dinosaurs before them, before they decided to do that. 250 million years ago, there were all kinds of creatures walking on this planet. None of them were human. The closest thing they had to humanoids were apes. Apes were a creation of the Creator. These are natural creations. You can tell they're natural creations because how slow they evolve. It takes a millennium for these creatures to evolve. Human beings didn't take long to evolve at all. Human beings took less than 500,000 years to evolve. According to the Bible, we've only been here for 4,000. Okay, but that's not true. We actually were created about 500,000 years ago. 500,000 years ago, mankind was created. Now, dinosaurs who lived millions of years ago, they were extinct because of, that's another topic. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is the evolution of mankind from what they were in the beginning to what they are now took a very short period. That's because we were not created in the same mold that the Creator and Mother Nature creates. There's a very slow progress when it comes to evolution. However, we progressed quickly because we were made in a lab, pretty much. We were created by the beings that call themselves the Elohims in the book of Genesis. I have to keep drinking because the moisture keeps the popping sound down on these very sensitive microphones I use. But I changed it. I'm not drinking water anymore. I'm drinking orange juice because it's got a little acid in it, and it helps to clear my throat. But anyway, I just don't want you to think I'm being rude and I'm being obnoxious by taking a break. But anyway, but you got to admit, this is the coolest cup you ever saw. This cup even has dinosaurs on it. So, anyway, talk about dinosaurs. And if they didn't, and for those of you that didn't think dinosaurs really existed, this is proof. They did exist, so they wouldn't be on the cup sitting there. Anyway, getting back to my point, you have the Creator of the universe, archangels, then Mother Nature. Lucifer, Creator's number one bodyguard. Lucifer got very upset with these Elohims who created mankind. Why? Because he didn't do it. Not only was he upset because he's not the one that was responsible for them physically, he was also upset because these beings, these Elohims that is written about, and it tells you in the book of Genesis. Ask any minister, what does that chapter mean when it says we shall make man in our own image? And he will give you a run around like he's running the 440 in the Olympics. He will tell you everything except the truth. The truth is, obviously, it wasn't the Creator. That's the answer. The Creator of the universe doesn't go around calling himself a bunch of weeds because there's only one of him. There wasn't a bunch of gods. The creatures the beings that created us were a we. Okay, so Lucifer is upset not only because they made creatures and they're not supposed to be making creatures, but now, guess what? They are calling themselves God. The reason they're calling themselves God is because they created something. This something, they said, hey, we are your God because we created you. And so now here we are going to churches and learning about these goofballs right here who did something that they weren't supposed to do. These goofballs here are the ones you're learning about in church. You're learning about these goofballs right here. There's one that calls himself Jehovah, and the one that calls himself Yahweh. Yahweh walking around in the Garden of Eden trying to find out where Adam and Eve was. Well, he was walking around in the Garden of Eden because he had legs. This one doesn't have legs. The Creator of the universe doesn't have legs. This one was walking around trying to find Adam and Eve with his eyeballs. He had eyeballs too. And when he looked and saw them, he saw that they wore leaf aprons. This one knows what's going to happen billions and billions and billions of years before it had happened. He wouldn't have had to ask, watch this language. I know I'm very kind of pastoral and almost reverent, but watch this. The creator here would not have had to ask Adam and Eve shit. I'm just saying. Now I'll get back to my reverence. He wouldn't have to ask them, you know what? He would have already known. These goofballs are walking around trying to find out what their creation was doing. They knew they made them. Now they're trying to find out how come they got on leaf aprons. The reason they had on leaf aprons is because they were hiding their genitalia, because the one who created the science, whoever the ones that gave them the biology, he made them so they can reproduce themselves. They weren't supposed to be able to do that. They were supposed to be created as a slave race to benefit these Elohims. They weren't supposed to be that much like the Elohims. They weren't supposed to be in the same image. They were supposed to be like pets, like servants. However, they made them too well. One thing that the Elohims was okay with, Yahweh was okay with, was the fact that they didn't get the benefit of long life. These beings lived for a very long time, 450,000 years on an average. When they created mankind so that mankind would only live about 150 years. 120 years at best. These are the same beings that caused the flood that killed all the people, because they knew that the people, for two reasons. They knew that the people they created weren't supposed to be being created in the first place, number one. And plus, they were kind of a disaster. They didn't work out too well. Their brains weren't working out very well. And their science had improved to the point where they felt that if they got rid of all of them and used a primate on this planet, an ape called the bonobo, if they used that as a primer and use the DNA from that, combine that with a little bit of their own, they will come out with something with a little more teachable brain matter. So the second evolution of mankind was when they destroyed them with a flood. All these things were perpetrated by these Elohims. None of this has anything to do with the creator of the universe. You could say it has to do with the creator of the universe because he's the one that created them, but they had free will. Getting back to Lucifer. Remember I called him God's number one bodyguard? Well, here's the deal. The reason he was the number one bodyguard is because he was so resentful of the fact that these beings were calling themselves God, he got sick of it. And that's who he went after. He went after these gods, these Anunnaki gods who were calling themselves the creator of the universe, but they were not. These beings made a deal with Lucifer. They said, okay, Lucifer, you can be a god, but they basically changed their mind at the end. And that's when Lucifer decided, okay, if I can't be a god like you, I'm just going to take over the whole entire system. I'm going to create such a confusion that not only will there be one belief system, but there will be thousands of them. There's not going to be one Bible. There's going to be hundreds of them. I'm going to confuse the whole system since you won't let me be. Now, I would imagine if Lucifer had his way and Jehovah and Yahweh added Lucifer to the pantheon, I think Lucifer would have been just fine, because then you get to pray to him and he'd be sitting up there. His ego would be like, okay, this is cool. I like this. You're praying to Jesus. You're praying to Jehovah. You're praying to Yahweh and you're praying to me. You know, just call me Muhammad. Yeah, I'm good. He might have been okay with that. But when he got rejected by Jehovah, that's when he said he was going to take over the entire thing. Now, in my next episode, I'm going to explain what happened after that. I thought I would be able to get a lot of this in the first 30 minutes, but I met my time limit and I cannot. And this aspect of the whole learning is too important for me to just start jumping. Watch what I'm saying again. Watch it 2 or 3 times and let it soak in. Because if you can understand what I'm trying to tell you, now don't just listen to me and take my word for it. Do your own research. Try to find out what you can and about the creator of the universe and what that actually means to be the creator of the universe. To be the creator of the universe is not something that Lucifer can fight, because there's nothing to fight. The created cannot even conceive the creator, much less battle. Lucifer's battles was with these clowns down here, the Elohims in the book of Genesis. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Love me too. Love me too. Right there, right there. Love me too. Love me too. Love me too. Love me too. Love me
subscribe and push the like button.